ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 235 अयथा वस्तु सर्पादि ज्ञानं हेतुः पलायने रज्जुज्ञाने हि द्वस्तौ कृतमप्यनुशोचति. So Vidyaranya has come to the final part of this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantra 4.4.12 Shariram Anusanjvaret, and he talks in verse 223 to 250 about this this final part of the mantra. And first he explained that Jvara and Anujvara Jvara means an intrinsic problem belonging to the three bodies. Intrinsic, cannot never be the free. These three bodies will never be the free. So that's called Jvara. And Sthula Sharira has several problems like Vata, Pitta, Kapha, etc. And then some other also, and due to imbalance of this Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Then Sukshma Sharira also has a Jvara, intrinsic problems in terms of Kama, Krodha, emotional issues. Karana Sharira also has a Jvara, in terms of a potential problems. Everything comes from Karana Sharira only. So ultimately these Jvaras which are there at a manifest level in Sthula Sharira and Karana Sharira has a root in the Sukshma Sharira and Sthula Sharira. Manifest problems are there, Jvaras are there. They have a root in Karana Sharira. So we can say Karana Sharira also has all these potential Jvaras. In fact, all Prarabdha Karma due to which we face all several problems, well, they are come from the Sanchita, which is a part of Karana Sharira. So, Avyakta Jvara is there in a Karana Sharira. Vyakta Jvara is there in a Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. Anyway, so all the three bodies will have a Jvara. Then, so they are Swabhavika. We can say that they can never be free from, these three bodies can never be totally free from Jvaras. Then afterwards he talked about Anujvara. Means Jvaras are superimposed upon the self. Or you take yourself with a Jvara. That's it. That's a mistake you do. Mistake you do means everybody. I also do, you also do. Everybody does this mistake. So basically you take yourself with problems. You say, I have emotional issues, I have these issues, that issue. I have a fever, I have that, I have that. So basically belongs to three bodies. But since you place the I sense in the three bodies, well, you say, I have a Jvara. That's called Anujvara. And that is the issue. So basically, that is, well, how come I place the I sense in the body? But due to ignorance, ultimately. That error, adhyasa, occurs due to ignorance. So I have a Jvara, that is called Anujvara. Instead of saying that three bodies have a Jvara, well, so I don't have a Jvara in fact. So this is called Anujvara. So Vedanta's aim is to handle Anujjara, because jvaras at these three bodies can never have a atyantik nivrutti. So what will be the aim of our Vedantic student? Well, the aim of the Vedantic student, or let's say Vedantic study, it's better. Aim of a Vedantic study will well, definitely ultimately to make you free from jvara, to understand that I am free from jvara. That's called atyantika jvara nivrutti. So, well, initially, well, you reduce the jvara, definitely. That's called, that is where Karma Yoga helps you. Sadhan Chatushtaya Sampatti means, at, even though you have, due to ignorance, you are saying that I am mind, etc., I am body, etc. So, Yogasana, etc., helps you to remove the jvara partially at the physical level. And, well, other things, well, Karma Yoga, etc., helps you to reduce the jvara at the mental level. So ultimately, aim of a Vedantic study is to reduce the jvara at three levels, with the I sense you being there. First to reduce the jvara, and then, well, sooner or later you have to attack to this anujvara. I am sufferer, I am sufferer, I am sufferer. That is to be attacked. Anyway, so I should claim, well, that I am free from jvara. I am always free from jvara. This anujvara nivrutti is called moksha. And moksha, well, so that is how moksha can never be either a sadhanam or sadhyam. Suppose anujvara nivrutti, removing this anujvara, well, by reducing the jvara, then suppose you have, if you think that, well, I remove the jvaras at the three levels, and thereby I will become free from dukkham. Well, that, so looking upon this jvara nivrutti as a moksha, as a sadhyam, and that is moksha, well, one can never be free. You can keep on reducing and reducing in jvara, yet the new jvaras keep on arising due to prarabdha and etc. Well, and so that will, so moksha as a jvara nivrutti, sadhyam, that's not. And jvara nivrutti cannot be sadhanam also. Well, because all the time you definitely do, I mean, for jvara nivrutti, you are putting a lot of efforts, right? So you look upon jvara nivrutti as a means also, you won't get moksha. You look upon jvara nivrutti as a sadhyam, and also then also there will be no moksha. Only understanding that I am free from jvara. I, the Sakshi Chaitanyam, is ever free from the jvara, even though the jvaras are there at the three levels, three body levels. So that is how I am free from the jvara itself is moksha. And then after claiming that kind of a freedom, well, jvaras will continue to be there at the body level, and one can work upon that objectively. That is a different thing, but basically you become free from the jvara. You understand that you were never having any jvara, never having any issues, never having any problem. So this is a thing. And then we have also seen verse 235, but let's see further. So here in verse 235, Vidyaranya said, once anujvara is removed, well, thereafter no question of doing any sadhana for performing any means, employing any means for dukkha nivrutti or a sukha nivrutti. So because as long as one has a abhimana, one has a I sense in the three bodies, well, there will be a dukkha nivrutti as a goal, or sukha pravritti also, sukha prapti also as a goal. Once you understand, well, that I am free from the jvaras, well, definitely, then there is no question of employing any means for dukkha nivrutti or sukha prapti. For that he gave an example also. Ayatavastu rajju sarpadi jnanam. Ayatavastu rajju sarpadi jnanam. So misconception of the snake, etc. Ayatavastu means, well, which is not reality. Yathavastu means reality. Ayatavastu means which is not a reality, which is mithya. Well, that is ayatavastu jnanam, and that is mithya vastu jnanam. So means sarpadi jnanam, mithya sarpadi jnanam, which is rajju sarpa jnanam, of course. And that is that once you gain this knowledge, then definitely you will not have a I mean, suppose you have a ayathavasthu rajju sarpadi misconception. That is better. Ayathavasthu jnanam means it is a really mithya, but you don't understand as a mithya. So you have a misconception of this rajju as a snake. So rajju sarpa jnanam. So misconception of a snake. Well, if you have, then it becomes what? Palayane hetuhu bhavati. Then definitely that becomes an hetu. This kind of a jnanam, misconception of a taking rope as a snake, will be the hetu for palayanam, for running away. So that two types of sadhanams we employ due to this misconception. See, one sadhanam we employ is called pravritti. Pravritti will we engage into activity, well, for sukha prapti, let us say, considering something as a source of a sukham, etc. And well, you consider something as a source of a sukham, definitely for you that object is real, naturally. No one will have engaged oneself in gaining an object which is mithya, which is really not there. Just appearance is there, and still you are engaging yourself to gain that object looking upon it as a source of happiness. That will not happen. You will take it as a source of happiness, considering it as a real. So sukha prapti also has definitely ayathavasthu jnana. There is a misconception about a misconception about a given thing, not taking as a mithya, but it is taking as a real. So this is one thing. And second sadhanam we employ is a nivrutti, palayanam. You run away from something also, definitely looking upon that object as a source of a dukkha. There also you take the object as a real. And therefore, here of course that example is there. Palayanam is nivrutti, because that snake is a source of a dukkha. Which snake? Actually ayathavasthu. In reality it is unreal, mithya. And that is, it's actually rope snake, but still he doesn't look upon it as a rope snake. He looks upon it as a snake. That's the issue. And therefore, as long as misconception is there you will always employ these two sadhanams, pravritti, nivritti. Looking upon something as a source of happiness, etc., you run towards it, you engage yourself in gaining that, etc. And nivritti, looking upon something as a source of is dukkha. So anyway, so pravritti nivritti is there because we look upon the world, the varieties of the objects, as real. That's for sure. That is how we call pravritti nivritti as I'm employing this sadhanam called pravritti and nivritti. We call them as a samsara. Anyway, and because when you suppose a person definitely suppose a person knows it is a rope snake, and still he is running, and we are asking, then suppose if he says, yeah, it is a rope snake, but for safety purpose I am running. Yeah. What is this? It's a rope snake, but for safety purpose I am running. Definitely the words he has used as rope snake, that is just a verbalization. He really does not mean it actually. Even though he says rope snake, in his mind it is only snake. And when you say rope snake means it is mithya. When you say snake means it is real. That is the thing. And therefore, this is the issue. This is the issue. This is the essence of a human life. A ignorant person has all the time his precious human life, goes in pravritti and nivritti. Something he looks upon it as a source of happiness, something he looks upon it as a source of unhappiness, but the baseline is the world is real. The reality, unless you look upon something as real, you will not do this. Anything which becomes, which you realize it as a mithya, your pravritti or nivritti will stop. That's how we give example of a shell silver, and we also give an example of a rope snake. Shell silver, pravritti, running after it. Why two examples for mithya? Because for one we have a pravritti, and rope snake we have a nivritti. Looking upon it as a source of a unhappiness, and shell silver, well, definitely looking upon it as a source of happiness, looking upon it as a silver, I mean. Rajju Jnane Sati, so once you gain a Rajju Jnanam, consequently, what happens? Ahi di dvastau, when ahi means a sarpa, di means that Brahma, dvastau nasha. So this sarpa Brahma nasha takes place once you gain a Rajju Jnanam. And then, well, you will stop running. And you stop running, and something else also happens in that person. He feels ashamed. He feels ashamed that he ran so much for something. He ran for so much for something which was not there at all. He ran away from something which was not there at all. That's better. So he won't feel proud that oh, I have ran so much, I have run so many miles. He won't feel proud of it. So once you gain jnana, for whole pravritti and nivritti, whichever you have done for 30, 40, 50 years, you feel ashamed. You will never feel proud, I tell you. Once you gain this jnanam, that I am siddha, well, there is no sadhanam required for any kind of a sadhyam. What was considered as a sadhyam was actually a siddha. So once you become a siddha purusha, right? Once you become a siddha purusha, definitely you feel ashamed. Kritamapi anushochati, Vidyaranya says. Whatever sadhanam you have employed, running away or running towards, whatever, anushochati, he feels bad about it. Every jnani feels ashamed for because whatever he has done in the state of ignorance. And means there was no problem actually for which to solve the problem, whatever the sadhanam I have employed, that problem itself was not there. That's it. Problem was not there to begin with. That is the thing. Anyway. And so, basically work on anujvara. Don't never work on removing the jvara. This jvara will never go away. If you, as long as jvara nivritti is a sadhyam, you keep on doing it. Or jvara nivritti is a sadhanam also, looking for moksha as a sadhyam, and well, that also is, then also you will continue to employ the sadhanam for nivritti of a jvara. After anujvara is gone, well, you can come back to jvara nivritti. You can do some jvara nivritti for yourself. Now you may do still yogasana, you may run also, you may walk also, and you may try to improve your hunger, thirst, everything. Or else you engage in activity for a jvara nivritti of other people. For jvara nivritti I am saying. Or you engage yourself into an activity for anujvara nivritti of the other person. Both. That's called loka sangraham. That's a loka sangraham. So this is how it is. So as a siddha purusha, well, you do it as a hobby. This is your hobby. And that this hobby is something which never goes. Most of the teachers have this hobby. Why, we asked sometime to Puja Swamiji, why Swamiji, please now your throat is not good and these and not good. And why stop teaching, stop taking classes. But because it's a hobby. So he just keeps on doing and doing and doing. Anyway, verse 236. Mithyabhiyoga doshasya prayashchittattva siddhaye kshamapayannivatmanam sakshinam sharanam gatah. So as I told you, this jnani feels ashamed, etc. So that is, has been elaborated now. What does jnani think? He feels bad, that we have discussed. Means I am nityamukta jnani, I should have claimed I am a samsari, but all the time I have claimed that I am a samsari. And that's a false charge I did upon Parmeshwara, upon me, the real I, which is Parmeshwara. And that false charge was done upon myself, the real I, Brahman, by myself as a Chidavasa. So this false accusation on Parameshwara, looking down upon Brahman as just a jiva, insignificant, totally insignificant jiva. Looking down upon this Brahman as just a jiva was a false accusation, and that is papa karma. This is all Jnani's thinking. So, in Dharmashastra it is called mithya abhiyoga. That's what word he is using. Mithya abhiyoga means mithya abhiyoga means this kind of a false accusation on something which is very great was looked down upon a very insignificant. And that's how people, in Niti Shastra they say that also, never say anything anything unless you have an authentic information about it. So even in a casual talking also, well, you should not give information for which you don't have an authenticity. So if somebody asks you and if you are not sure of things, don't pass on the information. You can simply say, well, I don't know it. Don't say this is what it is, because this is not correct. Means they say it, even if you have given information in which partly it may be correct, suppose. Not totally correct, partly correct, still it is considered as a lie. Because half information is as good as no information, and therefore, so generally we spread by adding our own creativity also, or sometime without checking the source of information we pass on information. They say we should not do it. So even here every jnani basically feels that I have done a mithya abhiyoga, I have done a papa karma by saying I am karta, I am bhokta, which is very insignificant entity, and that I happens to be the Brahman. There is no Brahman other than I. There is not that I and Brahman. There is I and then there is Brahman. There is Brahman. That's it. There is Brahman. Once you know the I in reality as Brahman, Brahman remains. Not I and Brahman. Never I and Brahman. Please understand what I am saying. Once you understand out of the mixture, the reality is just Param Brahman, the Sakshi. Therefore, then I and Param Brahma doesn't remain. Param Brahma remains. That's it. I, you use it because you are right now having a prarabdha, etc. And it's a functional. It's simply a functional thing. To use a I for a Jivan Mukta is a functional thing. And what remains is Param Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. Please understand this. Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman, is Brahman, nothing else. Not even Brahma Jnani. We have discussed this before also. I am a Brahma Jnani also, he will not be there. There is Brahman. That's it. I and Brahman, there are no two things at all. Anyway. But he uses Ahankara will be there because of the Prarabdha is there, and therefore that kind of a thing we should understand. Anyway, this Puja Swamiji discussed at one time. This what I am saying right now was discussed in some class at one point. And therefore I am Karta, I am Bhokta, I have a Shani Dasha, I have Buddha Dasha, I have Guru Dasha, and this Graha is blocked for me, and that Graha is blocked for me, and etc. etc. All Papa Karma. All is a Papa Karma. Brahman is free from all these things. And Jnani feels that way, he feels bad about it. And Sadhaka also say that I am not fully qualified, and therefore Swamiji, I will not say I am Muktaha. I can't say I am Muktaha because I am not qualified, etc. This is also Papa Karma. This is also Mithya Abhiyoga, even though Sadhaka. Because basically, my mental condition has nothing to do with what I am, really speaking. My mental condition has nothing to do. We are going to discuss in Dirgdishya Viveka on Friday. My mental condition has nothing to do with what I am. What I am is reality. My mental condition and my mind, everything is mithya. Mithya has no connection to Satyam. Mithya has no connection to Satyam. No connection to Satyam. Whatsoever. No, but then we find a connection. Brantijam tadatum. He is going to tell. It's simply a Branti. You mistake the mind as I. That's it. And then take the condition of the mind as yourself, your condition. And therefore, even a sadhaka tells, he's doing a papa karma. Sadhaka tells, Swamiji, I can't tell you many things, but I'm not qualified person. Means he's referring to his mind. Mithya abhiyoga. Anyway, forget about sadhaka, Swamiji. What you were discussing? What about jnani? Yeah. So jnani basically asks for forgiveness. So what does he do? Prayashchit tattva siddhe. What is the forgiveness? Dhyanam, nididhyasanam. So till now he has told that I am samsari. Well, now and now he has understood what is his real nature. So like in magazine, they write some wrong information, and then the person about that person who this writer has written, he puts a defamation case in the court, and then court calls this person, the writer and everything, or editor, and and then there will be a case runs, and then ultimately court says, yes, you have not written properly about that person, and so now court orders, that he tells this editor to write a correct information on the first page of the magazine, and also definitely he says that you ask for the apology to this person. So this is called prayashchitta. Same way here, nididhyasanam, this jnani apologizes definitely. He says, he continues to say, I am asamsari. So mithya abhiyoga doshasya prayashchitta siddhaye, for accomplishing, prayashchitta siddhaye, for accomplishing, prayashchitta for false accusation. What is a false accusation? The jvara belongs to the body, and he has put an accusation on the self that the jvara belongs to the self. So jvara, that is the false accusation. For that, he is now doing this nididhyasanam, in which he is claiming again and again, he's going to tell, claiming again and again, I am asamsari Brahman, etc. So kshamapayan iva. So Vedantic student basically was gain knowledge. There is a clarity. That's how well. But Swamiji, you were saying jnani only. It's a jnani. One who does a shravanam and also mananam through the help of teacher and gain clarity. He has a jnana. So he said jnani, of course. But still, due to the habitual error, that kind of a papa karma he does, looking upon oneself as karta bhokta, such a jnani now does a prayashchittam in terms of a nididhyasana. So Vedantic student, kshamapayan iva, Vedantic student seek forgiveness from himself, herself. How it is done? Sakshinam sharanam gataha. He falls at the feet of a sakshi. And he shall say, I am ever free. Sakshi is oneself. So he actually falls at the feet of oneself, real self, the sakshi. So that is called nididhyasana. I am ever free. Sakshi, I was never a samsari. He tells like this. He won't say I am not a samsari now. He says I was not a samsari. I am not a samsari. I will not be a samsari. That is my nature. I am asamsari Brahman. That is the reality. And this kshamapayan it's a present participle of a denominative verb. Kshamapayati. Actually, kshamapayati, in that kshama is a word. From word, the verb is made. And that is called denominative roots. When you make a verb out of a noun, in English also it is there. And so when you make a verb out of the noun means a word, here kshama, from that you make kshama-payati, to seek forgiveness, etc. So basically, that's a denominative we call it as a Nama Dhatu. Nama means a word, Dhatu means a verb. So you made a verb out of the noun. In English also we have that kind of a thing. Parent is a noun. You make a verb, parenting. Oh, I am parenting. They are parenting. Dish is a noun. Oh, I have heard here only. Dishing. So this kind of a thing. Anyway, table is a noun. You make a verb, tabling. Or they place this motion in parliament. They table the emotion, particular motion in parliament. They say like that, tabling the motion. So this is how they make. So Kshamapayan Iva, as though seeking for forgiveness. Kshamapayan Iva. So who falls at the feet of Sakshi Swamiji? Chidabhasa. We told Chidabhasa not to go towards Shadiratrayam but towards its source called Chit. Instead it went towards these three bodies and claimed. And then Jvara of the bodies also he claimed. So now Chidabhasa is guilty. So we are telling him that Sakshinam Sharanam Gataha. So Chidabhasa has to go. I have already told you before also. Who tells I am Samsari and who tells I am Brahman? Chidabhasa. Okay? Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa or mixture? Mixture. Now mixture and now Chidabhasa. Because the Sakshi never tells I. Sakshi has no I. And the body also has no I. Mind also has no I. Okay? And therefore, the Chidabhasa, this conscious mind, the mind which is associated with this consciousness has this I. So that alone says, ultimately. But then Chidabhasa says, mind cannot say. Oh, mere bhai, it is Dampati. I have already told you. When you say Chidabhasa and mind can never exist independent of each other. When I have already told you, when I say Ahankara, you have to consider Chidabhasa. When I say Chidabhasa, you have to consider Ahankara or mind. When I say mind, you have to consider Chidabhasa. There is no teacher can continuously clarify this thing. It is impossible to clarify. It is required on a understanding on your part. There is no reflection in the world without the medium. We have to take it. No, this is a naked fact. No Chidabhasa possible without mind. No mind is there without Chidabhasa. And therefore, but Swami Videha Mukti, forget about it. Right now, what we are in, where we have to discuss. And therefore, when I say Chidabhasa, you have to consider mind. Or let us say Jiva. Let us say this individual, whatever you say. Ultimately, he can go to its source, or he can identify with something which he is not, frankly speaking. And therefore, that's a mistake, identifying with the body called Dhyasa, etc. Anyway, so that is seeking forgiveness. So Chidabhasa falls at the feet of a Sakshi. So, Kshamapayan Iva Sakshinam Sharanam Gataha. Okay, let's go to verse number 237. Avruttapapanutyartham snanadhyavartyate yatha avartayanniva dhyanam sada sakshi parayanaha. So, if false charge is done only once, then seeking forgiveness is done once. But repeatedly, if you have committed some mistake, prayaschitta also should be done repeated. More than one time. So avrutti, prayaschitta also done with the avrutti. Means regular niridhyasanam. Niridhyasanam is a prayaschitta, in which you claim that I am asamsari Brahman, I am asamsari Brahman, I am asamsari Brahman. I am asamsari Brahman, I am asamsari Brahman, I am asamsari Brahman. Dhyayati iva lelayati iva. Beautiful. Dhyayati iva lelayati iva. This is the life of a jnani. Once you gain a clarity in knowledge, whole life is dhyayati, lelayati, dhyayati, lelayati. What is this? Lelayati. What is dhyayati? Oh, lelayati means you deviate from your nature. Then dhyayati, well, I am a samsari Brahman. Then lelayati, I am jiva. Dhyayati. But Swamiji, real Dhyayati or real? No, no, Eva, you are Brahman. But basically, you do this mistake. Again, saying that I am Jiva. When you say I am Jiva, you have never become Jiva. Therefore, the deviation also is Eva. As though deviation. Therefore, as though deviation, then as though meditation. Dhyayati. So you have to remember this. Dhyayati, lelayati. Dhyayati, lelayati. All the time. This is the life. Till one is no more ignorant about oneself. That's it. All the time. That's how Nididhyasanam means. We say it's a regular Nididhyasanam, Avrutti. So Avrutta Papa Anutya, Avrutta Papa Nutyartham, Avrutta Papa. So many Papa, the regular Papa, beginningless time. See, beginningless time. I am this, 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 I am this. See, here Nutyartham, I would like to say something about that. See, there is a Nud Dhatu in a 6 conjugation, Parasmipada, Nudati, means to destroy, to eliminate. From there, a noun is made Nuttihi. Nud plus ti, Nuttihi, is equal to destruction, elimination. There is another root called Nu, second conjugation, means to salute. Nauti. And you can make a noun there also, Nutihi. Nutihi means a salutation. Namaskara. And this is Nutyarth. Nuttihi means destruction, elimination. So Nutihi, Nuttihi. Difference. Double ta. Here it is double ta. Nutyartham it is. So for the sake of elimination of what? Papam. For the sake of elimination of this papam which he has done from beginningless time, well, repeated papam. What kind of papam? I am samsari, I am samsari, I am sadhaka. Looking upon oneself as a sadhaka also. I am not qualified, etc., etc. This kind of a thing. I am mumukshu, I am jignasu, that anything. So, I mean, if you consider I means a physical form, it is papam. Whenever you have awareness in you that I means physical form, papam. So, elevate yourself, transcend from this form. It's called transformation. Transcending the form. Yeah. You are free from all form, formless. So that is what it is. Spiritual transformation. Oh, spiritual transformation. Spiritual transformation means transcending the form, name and form. Yeah. So, if Swamiji, how will you say that I am Brahmanistha? Whenever in your awareness about, self-awareness, you don't take it with some physical form. Well, you have a nishtha. Understand? Whenever that awareness comes, physical form also comes along with, then you are doing papam. This is the way we have to see. We have to use other words. What can we say? Otherwise, say, Swamiji, day in and day out you are saying same thing. But we use different words. So, snanadi avartyate yatha avrutta papa nyutyarthyam snanadi avartyate yatha. That's how they say. If some papam has been done for a length of time, they say, do Ganga snanam, snanadi. Do Ganga snanam for 41 days. Yeah? Really? No, I did it once. No? You have committed that sin for a number of times. Then you should do snanam, or take snanam also for a number of days. Avrutti. Prashchitta also avrutti. Papa avrutti, prashchitta avrutti. So, similarly, for, I have samsari, etc. I said you, we have done that papam number of times. So many, Therefore, we should do prayaschitta, nididhyasanam also for a length of time. Avrutti of what? I am nitya muktaha, I am free from papa, I am not a mumukshu, etc. Na baddhaha, na sadhakaha, etc. etc. I am not a bound. Oh, so I'm bound, I'm bound, I'm bound. No, you are not bound. I am grihastha, you are not grihastha. I am sannyasi, you are not sannyasi. No physical form. I has no connection with any physical form. No connection. Asangaha. There is nothing other than I. All physical forms, they are just an appearance and disappearance of me. They are just mithya. They are incidental attributes to the I. Any wave is an incidental attribute to the water. That's how it is. Any name and form is an incidental attribute to the thing which is free from name and form. Water has no particular name and form. I mean, example, compared to wave, I am saying. Wave has a name and form. And one wave has one form, other wave has a different form. Names also are there. Different names are also there. Breaker and these and that. They give several names. But anyway, so this appearance and disappearance of names and forms, they are just, all these names and forms are dancing on me. The I, the consciousness, well, which is free from names and forms. Names and forms have their being in the I, the consciousness, which is the being. Consciousness is Sat. Consciousness is the being in which every name and form has a being. Mithya. That's Mithya. That is Mithya, which has no independent being. Consciousness is independent. Consciousness is the being. Is. Consciousness. No, Swamiji, is. Even if you don't say consciousness is there. Is. Consciousness. So consciousness is. The meaning of the word consciousness is the meaning of the word is. The meaning of the word chit is the meaning of the word sat, in which everything is a being, and therefore Sat Chit is Ananta, including space as a being in this. And therefore Sat is Chit, Chit is Ananta. That's how it is. Anyway, so you have to do this again and again. This is a just example, a sample of a Nididhyasana. Sample of Nididhyasana. So keep doing this day in and day out. Then this is called Prayashchittam. Then what will happen? You become free from the jvara. You are free from jvara. You become free from anujvara. Oh, I am a sufferer. I am this, I am that. I am angry, etc. All. Anger is there in the mind. You won't say I am angry. That bondage is anujvara, and so that goes away. Jvara at the three body level. Anujvara is at the level of the self, which is a mistake, of course. So Vedantic students should focus on this Nitya Mukta Sakshi. Nitya Mukta, I am free from this jvara. I am free from all the jvaras. Rather than complaining about jvaras of the body. That is how you connect it to this moksha, because you are free. So all the time committed to what? Sakshi, sada sakshi parayana bhavati. See? Parayana, connected. You connect yourself all the time to the sakshi. Where? In the Nididhyasanam. And that is what? Prayashchittam. Dhyayan sada avartayan. Repeating this Nididhyasanam always, you become committed to sakshi. One day you will say, well, I am just sakshi, that's it. Now you won't commit this mistake. Even if functionally you may have to say, I am doing this, I am walking this, I am teaching, I am that. You may say, functionally you have to say. But that ahankara has no more. Ahankara does not loom large in your mind. It doesn't have any reality in your mind. So three changes will be brought about by this actually. See, the changes centered on I, will be first is a change centered on I. So rather than looking at myself as a sadhaka or a mumukshu, I now start saying, due to Nididhyasanam, I am Nityamukta. That kind of a change, mindset will change. Shankaracharya ji calls, in Gita Bhashyam as a Yoga Buddhi and Sankhya Buddhi. Yoga Buddhi means what? I am mumukshu. I am Karma Yogi. Sankhya Buddhi means what? I am Nitya Mukta. This is Sankhya Buddhi. I am Nitya Mukta. Yoga Buddhi means I am Mumukshu. I am Karma Yogi, working for Chitta Shuddhi, etc. All this. So this is one mindset change. Due to Nididhyasanam, now Sankhya Buddhi. I am Nitya Mukta, I am Nitya Mukta, etc. Second change in mindset will be what? Suppose Yoga Buddhi is there, that I am a mumuksha, etc. Then, I look upon every action as a means for gaining Sankhya Buddhi. Yoga Buddhi is there, then you look upon yourself as a mumukshu. Then definitely, you look upon every action as a means for gaining Sankhya Buddhi, that I am Nitya Mukta, etc. So, and in that, you don't look upon some action as a sacred and some action as a secular. Even my Nitya Puja, etc. also will be looked upon as a sadhana. And that sadhana is for benefit of the world. The benefit through my actions, the beneficiary will be the world. And in the benefit of the world, your benefit is hidden. Chitta Shuddhi means what? I really don't require anything. I do all my obligatory actions because I am under obligation. That itself is Chitta Shuddhi. People think that for Chitta Shuddhi, let me work. Even if you do a sankalpa for doing a puja, etc., and if you do a sankalpa for someone else, suppose, suppose, I'm just saying, this is for the sake of saying, suppose our Swamiji, etc., maybe, suppose say he is ill, let us say. You do some japa in your home, or I do some japa here, or someone else do some puja, etc. And, you do sankalpa for Swamiji's health and this and that. That itself is a Chitta Shuddhi. People feel that for Chitta Shuddhi, I should do special, I should ask Chitta Shuddhi. No. You do karma, any karma, religious or even any other activity, for the sake of others, is Chitta Shuddhi. The selflessness itself is a Chitta Shuddhi. But now, Swamiji, Chitta Shuddhi means Ragadvesha should not be given importance. That's what I am saying you. Ragadvesha is not given importance, means selfishness is not given importance. Then you do for others a selfless action. That itself is a Chitta Shuddhi. That will reduce your Ragadvesha. That will reduce your selfishness, definitely. And therefore, the second change in a mindset will be this, that you are working, you are saying I am mumukshu, I am karma yogi, while you are doing an action for the benefit of the world. But when will I get my benefit? You don't need any benefit, that is you. You don't need any benefit. You are Purnaha. Basically, you Nitya Muktaha. You don't require anything else. And therefore, basically, this understanding Karma Yoga also has, that ultimately I have to gain this knowledge. Anyway, so this is second mindset. Third, my attitude towards moksha will be, suppose if I consider moksha is a goal, which I will gain in the future, etc., then it is called Yoga Buddhi. If you say, no, moksha is my Swarupam, that is Sankhya Buddhi. I am free, I am Nitya Muktaha, means moksha is my Swarupam, then it is Sankhya Buddhi. If you say, no, moksha is a goal, I am a Karma Yogi and moksha is my goal, Yoga Buddhi. Anyway, if you say I have a support of a Ishvara, Yoga Buddhi, you say I am a support of all, it's a Sankhya Buddhi. This is just difference between them. Anyway, So when any negative prarabdha etc. comes in your life, jvara etc. comes in your life, and if you pray, you have a yoga buddhi. And if negative prarabdha, this jvara etc. comes, and you do nididhyasanam to understand that I am free from jvara, that's a sankhya buddhi. Please understand this. Bhagavan said two types, two buddhis only, right? Yoga buddhi, sankhya buddhi, yoga buddhi, sankhya buddhi. So we should understand. This is where we fall. I mean, in lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogina sankhyanam karma yogina yogina. Anyway, so whether I am a sankhya or I am a yogi, well, I can decide on my own. But Vidyaranya requests all of us to have a sankhya buddhi, because saying oneself as a mumukshu is a papa karma. Saying oneself as a qualified student or unqualified student also is a papa karma. So, saying oneself as a karta, bhokta, etc. also is a papa karma. This is Panchadashi, by the way. So this is, Swamiji, what are you saying? But this is Panchadashi. This is what he says. So he says, Mithya abhiyoga doshasya prayashitatva siddhaye. Shamapayan iva atmanam sakshinam shranam gataha. And then said, avrutta papa nutyartham snanadi vartate yatha avartayivan dhyanam. Sada sakshi parayanaha dhyanam. All the time you are now committed to sakshi. Committed to sakshi means what? All the time you are doing this nididhyasanam, that dhyayan sada avartayan, that I am sakshi, I am nityamukta, etc. So it is a sankhya buddhi only. So sada sakshi parayana bhavati. Verse 238. Upasthakushthini vesha vilaseshu vilajjate janato gre tatha bhasah saprakhyato vilajjate. So now we have got a two Chidabhasa, just by the way. We have got a two Chidabhasa, previous Chidabhasa with a Yoga Buddhi, now the Chidabhasa, present Chidabhasa with the Sankhya Buddhi. So previous Chidabhasa claimed Shariratrayam as oneself, present Chidabhasa claims oneness with the Chit, that is Sakshi. This is what we said also before, Chidabhasa can go in either of the direction. Chidabhasa can identify with the three shariras, means Chidabhasa identify with three shariras means will Chidabhasa claims that this I am the three bodies, or Chidabhasa can claim I am Sakshi. Well, of course, when he says I am Sakshi, it is enlightened through Nididhyasanam, etc. And when that enlightened Chidabhasa becomes more and more dominant in your life, well, because of the Nididhyasanam. So, and more you preserve, more you promote this. And even in a small problem also you should promote this. So if small problem, small jvara is there, Swamiji, let me try to do this jvara nivritti. No. Do nididhyasanam that I am free from the jvara. Let the jvara be there, a small problem be there at all the three levels, or even at the mind level or at the body level, etc. Well, you try to be free from anujvara. Claim. Do nididhyasanam and claim that I am free from the jvara, basically. I am not the body and therefore I am free from the jvara. Anyway, this is a figurative expression I have given you. Don't think that there are two Chidabhasa, etc. But the previous Chidabhasa with a Yoga Buddhi, etc. now going away with this impact of nididhyasanam. So present Chidabhasa is identifying more and more with the Sakshi, enlightened Chidabhasa. And of course that Chidabhasa, well, previous Chidabhasa also is my Vyavarika version, and my original version is that I am a Sakshi. So when this enlightened I becomes dominant, then this samsari I, the ahankara, etc., feels ashamed to come to my life again. And Vidyaranya explains this by very embarrassing example actually. What he says, Veshya, so an immoral woman, well, whose job is to charm men through her beauty or exposing certain parts, etc., of her body, etc. Such a woman, suppose such a immoral woman, has got deformity, upastha kushtini. Upastha kushtini means some kind of a vidis, ailment and certain private parts. So, well, she has got that kind of a disease. Suppose vilajjate, now she shies away. Earlier she was, showing to the man this all and trying to attract the man. Now vilajjate, shy away. Vilaseshu, Vilaseshu vilajjate. Because Vilasa means her job was charming other people. Now vilajjate. Vilajjate, shy away. Why shy away? Janatah agre. Suppose as in front of her, one man is there who is knowing that she has a disease. Then she definitely feels shy to basically to show that her charm to that man. So that is what has been told here. Very embarrassing example, but anyway, Acharya has given. Same way, this our previous Chidabhasa is like Veshya. So he was, very strong and trying to show his charm and everything. I mean, was very predominant, very strong earlier. Now deformed because of the Nididhyasanam. Now Chidabhasa is enlightened. And so, well, that previous one was deformed. I mean, its Satyatvam has gone away. We have to understand it that way. Losing Satyatvam of a previous Chidabhasa means this, which has identified with the body, mind, sense complex, that ignorant person, that losing Satyatvam of this previous Chidabhasa is imagined as losing power to charm. We have to think that way. Just as this woman loses power to charm others because she knows that the other person knows I have a disease, then she lost the charm to attract others. Well, same way this falsified Chidabhasa also lost its charm. It cannot show its power, etc., to this enlightened person. Known, the person who is informed now that I am a Sakshi. To that person, well, to such a enlightened Chidabhasa, this previous Chidabhasa cannot show its charm. I hope you understand what I mean. So, here it says like that. So, Janatah agre vilaseshu upasthakushtini vilajjate. This is how you have to take it. Tatha, in the same manner, abhasaha vilajjate, abhasa, Chidabhasa. So, previous Chidabhasa now was frightening. Vilajjate or shies away. Or earlier, Shani is coming, Rahu is coming, this is coming. So, all this horoscope, etc. Well, that Chidabhasa was horrified with this, his horoscope. Then somebody told me also, horoscope means a horror scope. It is, so it is true. So all the time, it frightens you. And therefore, who is frightened? That previous Chidabhasa was frightened. Now it has lost power to me, the enlightened Chidabhasa, who says, no, I'm not this body, mind, sense complex. I am a Sakshi. I am the one who illumines all of you. I am the one who gives existence to all of you. All of you are non-separate from me. You are just appearance and disappearance on me. That kind of a Chidabhasa, this enlightened Chidabhasa. Because he is saying, so Chidabhasa is there, but it knows its own Swarupa. So, means I am Sakshi, etc. So, Saprakhyado vilajjate. That Abhasa, Chidabhasa, previous Chidabhasa now, Saprakhyado, well, it doesn't have a binding power, threatening power, etc. Saprakhyado means in declaring its own charm or glory, well, it vilajjate, it shies away. Which Chidabhasa? The previous Chidabhasa, basically Saprakhyado, in declaring its charms or glory, vilajjate. So, previous Chidabhasa is like that Veshya. Now, well, it has become deformed. It has lost its charm. So now, Janatah agre. Janatah means here enlightened Chidabhasa. Enlightened ego. We call it enlightened ego. Well, towards that previous Chidabhasa cannot declare its charm or glory. Vilajjate, shies away. So this is the thing. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.